Welcome to Heal with Faith. Today I am very excited to share with you the words of one of the greatest and incorrupt saints of our time, Saint Sharbel. I have recently read the book Love is a Radiant Light by Hannah Skandar. This book summarizes the simple and holy life of the saint. It also includes a few of his recorded homilies, which I am going to narrate shortly. There are various known healing miracles attributed to Saint Charbel, and although the following homilies are not necessarily around the topic of healing physical ailments, they definitely are soothing to every soul and mind. Before we begin, if you do not know him yet, Saint Charbel is a Lebanese saint born on the 8th of May, 1828. He was born Yusuf Anton Malkov. Father Sharbel was ordained priest in 1859. He lived as a hermit for 16 years and was called to solitary life and spent another 23 years in hermitage in the service of his Lord. He died on Christmas Eve of 1898. He is buried in the cemetery of St. Marin Monastery in Anaya, where the multiplication of extraordinary events and miracles after his death drew crowds and aroused devotion in people of all religious confessions and throughout the world. He was beatified by Pope Paul VI on December 5, 1965, and canonized by the same Pope on October 9, 1977. Let us begin. Your work in this world. Christ is the way. Stand fast in Christ and persevere along his way. Let nothing turn you aside from it. Allow some time for each of your brethren. Show him the way. Direct him toward the light. If he wants to walk alongside you, ask him to go ahead of you. If he wants you to hold his hand, hold both of them. If he tries to lead you astray or to delay you, get away from him, because the way is long. The work is immense. Sow on earth seeds of prayer, incense, and love. Sow among the rocks, because they may contain a dusting of soil capable of causing what you sow to sprout. If you must, crush the rock, strike it without ceasing. If it does not break at the first blow, it will end up being dashed at the 100th blow. If you grow weary, others will do it instead of you. They will labor and sow. There is a time for sowing and a time for reaping. Do not be afraid to crumble the rocks, because your arm is yours, but neither the earth nor the axe is yours. Do not moan, do not complain, do not worry. The ears of grain that are crushed complain neither about the weight of the harrow that thrashes the corn, nor about the harshness of the air, because they are preparing to become bread and food. The grapes do not worry when they are crushed and pressed, because they will become wine for joy. Without crosses you can get neither bread nor wine. Anyone who wants to become bread and wine must carry his cross. Therefore carry your cross and head for the light. A human being in this world who wants to pass from the dark shore to the shore of eternal light may cross the seas of this world and board many boats. Some are very beautiful, very luxurious, and very comfortable, because they follow their inclinations whenever the wind carries them, and their rudders bend with the waves. They do not confront the wind or the waves, because they have no direction and no destination to reach. These boats draw most people, and they do not go far, because they make no effort to arrive at the right destination. No crossing of the sea of this world is eternal. It always comes to an end, and the passengers in those boats end up at the bottom of the water. not far from the shore from which they set out. The boats of the second sort have thin sails, and their fragile wood breaks apart on the open sea because of the high waves and the force of the storms, and so their passengers end up somewhere at the bottom of the deep sea. A third sort of boat has hard wood and strong sails, and a handsome, attractive form, but the pilot takes his passengers out between deadly shoals, and so the passengers meet their death on one of those shoals from which it's impossible to return. Then too there is the Lord's boat, made of hardwood, with tough sails and a pilot who is full of wisdom, courage, and love. This boat crosses the deep seas, resists the winds and the storms, however violent they may be, and confronts the high waves on the open sea. This voyage is uncomfortable, but it leads you to a safe port. Be steadfast in the Lord's boat. Do not fear the storms or the high waves. Do not let luxurious boats attract you to the point of getting on board, because you will miss your destination. Keep in mind the destination that you must reach, rather than the voyage itself. Do not let the depths of the sea charm you. They serve as your means of passage and not as your dwelling place. You cannot be at the same time on board the boat and in the depth of the water, nor on board two boats at the same time. Stand firm on board the boat of the Lord, and strengthen your brethren at each port where you land. Invite people to take part in your voyage, so as to share with them your arrival at the destination. Speak to them about your pilot and about the shore of light. But be sure that your words are not the thing that convinces people to come on board the Lord's boat, but rather your confidence, your faith in Him, and the joy that is visible on your faces. Make sure that the voyage on board this boat gives you a face of light, so that you live by the light and for it. For man is a universal creature whose limits are those of the light, and not an earthly creature with the limits of dust and water. A human being is made of dust and light. Someone who lives in the dust will return to the dust and die there, whereas someone who lives in the light will return to the light and will live there. Do not let the dust limit you, because the boundaries of your homeland in this world extend toward the places where the sea ends and the sky begins. Do not allow the dust to enslave you, but be free. Freedom lies in liberation from sin. If you are free from sin, nothing can subject you to slavery. Whereas if you are slaves of sin, you will be regarded as slaves, even if you hold a royal scepter in your hand. Stay in a state of grace and stay humble. Be truthful witnesses of Jesus Christ. Return good for evil, but do not take love as an excuse not to confront evil. The plowman does not stop before the stones as an excuse for not working. Have no fear, evil destroys itself. Become totally involved in the church and adhere to her teaching. Persevere in prayer without ceasing. Venerate your mother, the Virgin Mary. Arm yourself with the rosary, for the name of the Virgin Mary dispels the darkness and crushes evil. Be monks in the midst of the world, even if you do not wear the habit. Fill the earth with prayer and incense. Be saints so as to sanctify the earth. The road to sanctity is long, but be assured that if God's thoughts are in your minds and His love is in your hearts, His might will strengthen your arms and you will reach the goal. Be assured that every time you pray, I pray with you to sanctify you, and thus the name of the Lord will be glorified.